Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cloth and Paper YouTube channel. Today you're with me, Bailey. We're going to be going over the project management inserts that are going to be in the February subscription box. I have them in my planner here with one of the dashboards that will be included. It's the half dashboard with the black velvet touch, and we have the SWOT chart, or we call it the project analysis chart. And then we have the project management insert itself. So this is a redesign of the media content manager that we currently have on the site. We tried to make it more open and inclusive to different types of projects rather than just media marketing, that sort of thing. We have the backside, which is has the timeline. So we give you 4 sections of your project. So where you should be by the first quarter, where you should be by the half time, and then the third quarter, and then the end of your project. And then we have a dot grid here for you to put down your ideas or any notes you may have at the beginning of your project to share with your teammates that are working on it with you. And then we have the Gantt chart. This is just to give you an overview of what your project is going to look like over the course of 3 weeks. And I think it'll be very helpful when it comes to scheduling. All right, a project that I'm really familiar with personally, I would work with my peers to create comics and zines that we would then print and sell at shows or give out for free, or to have something in our portfolio. So I'm going to start out with the SWOT chart, and I'm going to go in depth with this one. So we have why it's called the SWOT chart: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. So when you spell that out, it's SWOT. This is something they typically use in companies to assess a new project they'll be taking on. This you can also use personally. So for this example I'm going to show you, I'm going to create a hypothetical project that I would make with my friends, and I'm going to go through each of these 4 categories. And as you can see here, there's little labels that say internal, external, positive, negative. So if you are a company, your strengths or weaknesses are within your company or your small business. Your opportunities and threats are external factors that could affect your project. So that's why it's labeled internal, external. And then these are positive, negative. So your strengths and opportunities are your positives. Weaknesses and threats are your negatives. So that just gives you a general overview. Okay, so I will title this zine project. And I'll say today's date, because this is just the very early beginnings of this. So for my strengths, I have really great teammates and we're very talented. So we have a good group of artists. Lots of talent. We know that we can make good work. We've worked together before. And then I'm gonna move over to opportunities because we're gonna stay in the positive section for now. So the idea for these projects is to have something to put in our portfolio. And to have product to sell. And with this comic, I can say I can post it, have content to post on my social media. Okay, and then we're gonna move on to weaknesses and threats. So weaknesses, when you get a bunch of artists together, time management flies out the window. And scheduling, because we all have different lives and we all get distracted. Conflicting ideas, there we go. Cohesion. So we want a look of unity throughout this project if we have several people working on it, which is hard to achieve, so you have to kind of find an idea and stick with it. So threats, I would probably put down cost, initial cost to produce these books after it's done, the amount of time it'll take for the printer to make it. For printer. Possibly express shipping costs, because if you have bad time management, you might have to pay extra at the end to get it there in time. So we have like a very general idea of what this project is going to look like, and now I know which points I need to hit when I go to pitch this. Okay. And now we have the project management insert. These all work hand in hand. You can of course use them for whatever you need. It doesn't have to be all one project. Do whatever you want to do with them. So I will say this due date, I'm going to give myself a month to do this. And I'll go ahead and quickly explain the boxes that we have here. So this is a revamp of our media content manager, and it just opens up the ability to use it outside of marketing or media content and for any general purpose that you want to use it for. So for this, we have the contact in collaboration with. We have a content overview, which is just what tasks we're going to be doing and what the outcome of these will be. And then we have date, task, and deliverables. This is where you can really parse out who's going to do what task, and that will help you fill in the Gantt chart on the next page, which we'll do in a second. And then we have the project result, and the project result will be the finished zine or comic, but this is also including how that will impact you afterwards. Like, how will you be able to use this on social media? Will you gain followers? Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and give myself a due date for this project. And we're gonna say March 17th. So I'm gonna put 3/17. And then I'm gonna put the people I'm gonna work on this with. And we're going to have script, lines, color, production of the book, and ordering. All right, and now I'm going to move on to assigning those tasks to these people I'm working with. Okay, and then in the end, our project result will be a new debut zine, and we can use it to make a social media campaign. Okay, so that's the front half of our project management sheet filled out. I'll flip over to the back here. And then we have the timeline. So this is where I should be at the first quarter, half, third quarter, end. And this is our start date over here. So I'm gonna refer back to this. So we have our timeline filled out, and you can be fun and creative and use like the dots for the different tasks. So you can put that over here. Like that. Use whatever you want to use, highlighters, stickers, just a pen. And then you can move on to the ideation where we're gonna put our sketches. And this is actually a great size to do thumbnails on. So So I'll show you here and use the dot grid so that it's a perfect rectangle. So say I just want to mock up the cover and the back cover. When I go to create this spread in a document, I will do, this is the front, this is the back. And then if you wanted, you could make little sketches, you could use your pencils, you can use colored pencils, do whatever you want here. This is your free space to just brainstorm. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the Gantt chart. And I'm gonna actually take this out to make it easier on myself. We transfer this over. Okay, so now I'll go over the sections for the Gantt chart. We have this grid here that represents 3 weeks. And then you have these gray areas for the weekends because generally people don't work on the weekends. So you can just have an idea of what that's gonna look like if you need extra days to account for it. And this is where you're gonna fill in your month. And then you're gonna start putting in the date over the day of the week that it corresponds to. So I started this project on a Monday so that I could use every square. Okay, so I'm gonna fill out this February, March. Okay, so that gives me a good overview of the project. Now I'm gonna put the tasks in the task section. It's gonna take from the 17th to the 21st. So it's gonna take up these 5 days. Now this is the fun part with the Gantt chart. We have tape stickers that you can use in this, and it fits perfectly in the A5 size for this chart, which is really fun. And it will cover those 4 days. So you can see how long it's gonna take. It's gonna take from the 17th of February to the 21st of February. So that's one way to use your tape stickers. I would also use a highlighter. So I'll use the highlighter for the next task here. I'll take my blue highlighter and go from the 20th to the due date, which is the 28th. Just like that. And then we have color, which we would start while the lines are getting done. So we're gonna start that on the 26th to the 6th of March. Now you could probably do this neater than me and get really creative and fill it with dot stickers, but I'm just showing you how the different ways that you can use this. And you can also probably color in, like black out with a pen if you really wanted to have that stark difference. Let's see, and then I'm gonna say the ordering. This will run off into the next chart, so I will just fill out the end here with the blue highlighter. So you can kind of get an idea, and we have plenty of spaces for all those tasks. If you have more complicated projects than this one, this is just giving you a general overview of how to use this. And I think it could look really fun if you have several of these filled out and really organized, and it just gives you that really quick glance to see where you're at in your project. And there's a notes section at the bottom here. So say you were looking at printers, or we have to make an adjustment here, you can say add plus 2 days to color, or I can write down a little box here. I can like section this off and say possible printers. But you can see the idea here. We can just section these off however many you need. You can say phone numbers, etc. And there's a Gantt chart. So I hope that gives you an in-depth look at how to use these new inserts. We're very excited for you guys to get them and see how you use them. The last day to get this box is the 15th, so Saturday. If you decide you want to go ahead and get one, it's going to be really cool. You guys are going to go crazy, I think. All right, until next time, thanks guys. Bye.